Okay, so I was listening to a Reddit story, and they're going on the usual thing, which drives me crazy because I have to use them. People trying to take other people's mobility aids or trying to take the store mobility aid away from them because you're perfectly fine. You don't have trouble walking. Well, excuse me, how do you know? Invisible disabilities are a thing. I have known someone who can go shopping, but if they have to walk across half of the parking lot, we're going to end up calling the ambulance for them because they have mitral valve prolapse. We keep an eye on them when shopping. Oh, look, your lips are starting to change color. Please sit down, or we will make you. Vicious kindness. It's a thing. So anyway, now I have in my Cafepress store, there should be a link in my bio, a whole section called ChairCat. Things like, because people do. And it's like kids will try to play with your cane or your wheelchair or something, and you're like, excuse me, honey, no, I need this. I'm using this. And their parents don't do diddly squat. And I think we need a song. I think we need a song we can sing when we see somebody doing this to someone else. We can start going, invisible disabilities, invisible disabilities, invisible disabilities. You're looking at one right now. And see what happens. Or something similar, Personally, at one point, the reason there were all those things were so people could get bags and T-shirts and stuff and stickers that said invisible disability. Check it out. But it's a thing about me. It's like, no. Don't do that. You don't know them. If you really are wondering, you can ask. And I told my kids this when they were little. They saw somebody in a wheelchair in the food court. And they said, Mommy, why is that person in a wheelchair? And I said, I have no idea, honey. They could be in a wheelchair for all kinds of reasons. They might have broken a bone or something, and the doctor said you have to stay in the wheelchair. They might have had a surgery that made the doctor say they had to have a wheelchair. They might have a disability that makes them stay in a wheelchair. Sometimes Mommy needs to use a cane, and sometimes Mommy uses a wheelchair. Oh, now, if you really want to know, you can go ask them very politely. And if they don't want to tell you, that's their right. They don't have to tell you. And my kids went, oh, okay. But because I explained the different reasons that somebody might be in a wheelchair, they didn't go running over to them. They didn't go messing with them. And they never took any, because when they tried taking my cane as children, do you know what I did? I said, no, honey, this is Mommy's. Now, if you would like a cane, perhaps we can find something you can pretend to use as a cane. It's not that hard. First rule of parenting, distractions. Second rule of parenting, always be honest. Trust me, you can tell your kids anything. Now, you're not going to tell it the same way to a 2-year-old that you tell it to a 12-year-old, that you tell it to an 18-year-old. But my kids knew where babies come from. They had a little pop-up book, Yeah, this is turning into a rant. Because, first of all, they're safer if they know stuff. Somebody can't say, oh, this is like this, and they go, really? Because my mommy said. And do you know what happens when groomers hear that? They find somebody else. Because they don't want children who know the proper names for their body parts, because a child who knows the proper name for their body parts can go to the police or the doctor or the parent or whomever and said, this man touched this part of my body, which you said was part of my private area. I taught my kids, anything covered by your swimsuit is just for you, and only you should be touching it unless it's, you're needing help and you're getting help from a trusted adult, or you're at the doctor's and there is another person there. Yes, I taught my 2-year-old that chaperones are a thing. He didn't understand why. He didn't need to understand why. He just needed to know that it was acceptable and a thing. And if he had an issue, no matter where it was, he could look at me and go, WTF, Mom, which he did at the doctor's, because the doctor said, Did your pee-pee hurt when you wee-wee? And my 2-year-old son went, and she went, does your pee-pee hurt when you wee-wee? And my son's just like looking at her like she's on crack or some shit, and turns to me, he's like, Mom? And I went, she wants to know if your penis hurts when you urinate. And my son went, oh, and looked at the doctor and went, no. About like that. And the doctor's like, he knows the proper terms. And I went, of course, we named them by the proper terms. And if you call something by the proper name, that's the name the kid will understand. They don't have to be capable of saying it. And if they say, instead of penis, they say pee-pee, that's fine. But you don't respond to, oh, yes, your pee-pee is, no, you say, oh, yes, that's your penis. You're correct. It's really not that hard. Break the silence, break the cycle. Talk about stuff. Talking about stuff is important, and now I've probably ranted for too long. Let's see how long this one takes to upload.